Hey y'all, come on in. How are you doing tonight? Today is Thursday, November the 6th, 2025, and I went to the dentist yesterday and they think that one of my root canals may have an infection in it. So not looking forward to that, but it doesn't hurt. We're going to check back with it in a year, and I'm going to be praying that it's all healed and we don't have to do anything with it. So pray in agreement with me on that. I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs, and I hope y'all have had a wonderful day. I got a stencil in from, this is from the Stencil Smith, and this is the only thing black that I had. Well, it helps if I put it upright. Okay, there we go. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. And you can see that this is all divided. There's Joseph and Mary and baby Jesus and the Star of Bethlehem and the light that's coming down from it. And so I'm going to take, and I've been wanting to do this, so today is the day. Let me get this out of the way. I needed that just so that I needed that black background so that y'all could see what I have here. All right, so I've got a new product. This is called Base Coat Acrylic Primer and Artist Paint by Gaffrey Art Material. This is called Base Coat. It's from Gaffrey, Gaffrey. And anyway, so I've never used it before. Today is the day. So I am going to just take and dab my brush in here. It's supposed to be kind of like oh my gosh, y'all, this is gorgeous. It's supposed to be like a, what do you call it? Gesso. But I don't know. I think it's better than that. So now, Gaffrey paints, they have, like heavy-bodied paints. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. All right, I am new to, this is the first time that I have ever used anything from them. I have bought several supplies. I have a tendency to buy like a whole smorgasbord of supplies, and then I don't know what it is, but I'm not one that just jumps right in and uses things right away. I usually collect them for a while, and then it's like, oh well, I want to try this. So this heavy-bodied paint, I think what I want to do is like some staggered like Christmas trees where, oh y'all, this is really pretty. All right. So this is called Base Coat. It's by Gaffrey. What's it called? Gaffrey Art Material. Gaffrey Art Material. And this is going to be a one coat on this for sure. This covers really nicely. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to do the sides also. But I want to make sure that I've got make a smooth transition here. All right, this is one coat, y'all. This is one coat. And it is a beautiful black. Absolutely beautiful black. And anyway, Gaffrey, I can't remember. I should have brought up the history and read over it, because I've read it and it kind of like he wasn't an artist, and then he was an artist, and then he wanted a thick body paint and he created his own thick bodied paint, and he's kind of like at the top of the industry from what I read. And so I'm starting with his base coat, and I'm going to go from there. And I want to introduce y'all to some of the heavy-bodied paint, and we'll see where it goes. I've got some, kind of like, you know, like when you're working with modeling paint, how, you know, you can, oh my gosh, y'all, this is a gorgeous black. All right, so when I bought this, I thought, well, should I buy 8 ounces or should I go for the 16? And I ended up going for the 16, and I'm glad I did. You know, some of the things that I buy like a small amount just to see if I'm gonna like it. I like this. I'm loving this, y'all. I am absolutely loving this. And just filling in all the nooks and crannies. Wow, 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 wow. This is a gorgeous black. You know, black has got all its different shades because, you know, it all depends upon the mixture of the colors. Remember that you mix your 3 primary colors together, and if you do it in the perfect amounts, you will get a pretty black. And they have evidently done this in the perfect ratios, because this is a midnight black. All right, let me get this side over here. And it's not going to take long for this to dry. It seems to be drying as I'm going along. So, new product. And I have a couple other things that I want to try with this. So now that I've worked with their base coat, I'm going to definitely try some of the other stuff that I want to try with it. This is gorgeous. Did I say this is gorgeous, y'all? This is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous black. You know, I hate it when, well, I don't hate it, but you know how when you have black and it can be kind of like a dull black? This is not a dull black. All right, I'm just going to go over this because I want a black background for this. And let me make sure that I have all of the edges before I put my brush in the water. And I'm going to do a stencil from the Stencil Smith. I have an affiliate link with them. And the code that I have for Essential Stencil is the same as the Stencil Smith. It's nothing is wasted. 3 words, no spaces. Nothing is wasted. And you can save 15% on this. You know, it's like with some of the things that I'm learning is, I mean, it's always, I don't know, I was brought up, my dad was, you know, he always bought like something that was hot off the press or new, and he bought quality. And I'm a firm believer in, you know, the ingredients that you start with it's going to contribute to the final product that you have. And so, all right, let me look at this. Wow. All right, I want to make sure that I've got that. And this is, it's kind of like pudding. It's almost like a loose pudding consistency. So I want to get the lid on this before I knock something over. All right, and then we're going to dry this. And I'm going to put this in my water. I think I'm good. So let me put that in my water. Once that hits that water, it's going to turn it black. And it's going to be dirty, dirty, dirty. So wait till we do this stencil, y'all. I'm hoping that everything's going to turn out okay. There's a part of me that thinks, do I need to do white first on this stencil? Let me do something here. See if... Wow. Gorgeous, gorgeous black. All right, I'm so far I'm sold on the base coat. I'm not quite sure how our colors are going to do once we start stenciling on there. I think I'll start with the white star. I want a white star or gold. I think I'm going to do white. All right, well, I think we got it. We got some good stuff here. the edges. All right, let's see what we have. Wow. All right, let me just show you this up against this black background now so that you can see it a little bit better. All right, this is backwards so that y'all can see it forward. All right, this is the stencil. Oh, come let us adore. Oh, come let us adore him, Christ the Lord. And then I'm going to flip this over so that I can actually do it the right way. And what is this? All right. And let me get some tape. I'm kind of excited to do this. I love doing the nativity scenes at Christmas time. I have several nativity sets. And every time that there's a what do you call it, a stencil or something else that I can get. I want to make sure this is down good. All right, so I think I'm going to start with the white star and see where we go with that. So let me get, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I think I want to get, let me see if I have any cardboard in here. Let's try that. See, I think I'm going to need more than that, but let's start with this. All right, so I'm going to start with the white star. And I'm going to need a small brush for this. So let me get, I'm thinking maybe, hold on, let's see what's the right size for this. This one looks pretty good. Actually, I think I need a medium size. Let me try this one. Let's see if this is soft enough. Ooh. This one doesn't feel like it's very soft. I must not have cleaned it very well. All right, this one's better. Yeah, there we go. See how nice and soft that is? Hopefully it's clean. All right, so we're going to go in here. We're going to load, and then we're going to offload. All right, and I'm going to see if I can turn this around. Well, I got to be able to see what is what. All right, let's do this and see what we get, y'all. I think I needed a smaller brush. And we are going to go down here. Yeah, I'm going to need a smaller brush. Let me get a smaller one because I need to get in this little teeny tiny space right in here. And I want to be careful not to push the paint under the stencil. All right, and then I'm just going to load and offload. And I'm going to come on up here. All right, and then what we're going to do next is we're going to do some variations of purples and pinks. But I'm going to have to turn this around so that I can see what I am doing. I'll turn it around and show you as I go. All right, I like the second coat on here. I'm almost contemplating whether or not I want to add some gold to this. And I may come back and add some gold. I'm pretty excited to do this. I'm hoping that it turns out like I want it to. All right, so there is that. And I think I might go one more coat of the white here. And I'm trying to decide. All right, we're going to go one small spot. And we are going to go, all right, let me come up in here. This was white, right? Just have white on it a little bit. All right, so let me pick. I'm going to do, I think this one will be a good size. All right, so I'm going to come in here with a couple of different kinds of purple. And I want to start with the lighter purple first. So let's shake this up. And then I'm going to come back over it with some darker purple. Oh boy. This definitely needs some shaking. Come on. Let me get a stick. It doesn't want to drop down in there. It makes me wonder if this is, oh, it's kind of weird. Kind of gloppy. Not sure why it's doing that. Maybe old. All right, hang on. I'm going to go ahead and put this down here and see if we can get this to move. It doesn't want to move. I want it to move. There we go. It's kind of like it was stuck. Boy, this is thick. And it looks like some of the color is kind of stuck too. I'm not sure what happened. All right, we're going to go for this and see what we get. Wipe that off. Alright, we're going to do that. This has not even been opened, y'all. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just old. We will see. Alright, so we're going to take and we're going to use a variety of brushes. The brushes that I'm using are Essential Stencil brushes. Just a variety of different ones. Alright, I'm going to see how this purple is going to do. And I'm going to see if I need to come back over this with, all right, let's see if this will shake. It's not all the color is shaken up. So what we got. All right, I'm going to put some on here and let's just see where it goes. It's pretty thick. Maybe I need that to get it to cover. All right, I'm almost thinking, it's a part of me that says go over this, everything in white before. And yep, that's what I'm going to need to do. Because it's not going to show otherwise. Okay, plan B. Let's get a bigger brush and more white. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over this entire thing in white. And then we're going to come back with our colors. All right, here we go. What this is going to do is it's going to make it so that these colors will pop. Otherwise, they're just going to blend in with that black background. And I'm thinking I'm not going to need a whole lot of white on here, just enough to give it a backdrop. And I'm going to just pretty much go over the whole thing in white. And then when I come back and go over it in the individual colors, you'll be able to, it kind of brings it back to a neutral. But we needed to do the black background because we want the area in between the stained glass to be black. And this is the only way that we were going to get it, is if we did the whole thing in black, and now we're going to do this in white. And then we'll go over the rest of it in the colors that we want. Just kind of whiten everything out. Okay, and it didn't really take a whole lot of white, y'all. Just coming over this entire thing. Swirling to the right, swirling to the left, making sure that I get all the nooks and crannies, everything from every direction. Gonna fill every bit of this in, and then when we come back over this with the colors, we will we'll be able to see them. Oh, well, I hope that's gonna be a purple. I hit the purple. That's okay. I'm gonna make sure that's a purple one. Okay. All right, coming in here. Got just a few more of these to do, and then I'm going to do the letters also. I'll do one coat of the letters, and then at the end I'll come back or somewhere in there and do another coat of the letters so that they really stand out. And I'm just using Art Americano, Art Deco. This is actually a cool white acrylic paint. Deco Art Americano. Okay. All right, let's go over the letters now. So if you don't do this, your colors are not going to stand out against this black. So anytime you have a dark color, you're going to want to probably base coat it with a lighter color, and then put what color you want over top of that. All right, let me turn this around. I got just a little bit more. All right, here we go. And sometimes I like to make sure that I hold everything down so that nothing moves or shifts. And then that way I don't get any bleeding and I get crisper letters. Now, what I do in the middle there, I'm going to do some actual blending. So I wasn't as concerned as the letters are crisp like I want the outside of this to be. And here we go. And I'm thinking while my brush is still damp with the paint, I may go over this with one more coat. And then I'll be done with, well, I may not be done because I'll probably come back and do some highlights, but for the most part, I'll be done with the white. All right, here we go. Got to grab a little bit more paint. Trying to stay out of the purple. Like I said, I swirl to the left and then I swirl to the right, and I just kind of go back and forth depending upon, you know, where the brushes are hitting the corners and the crevices of those letters. I mean, where the bristles are hitting those crevices. Sometimes you need to go to the left, sometimes you need to go to the right. And if you go to the right and you go to the right and you go to the right and you see there's a spot that's not getting hit, then go to the left. And so that's what I do. And I kind of just do it sporadically, so you can't really tell if I'm going one way or the other. All right, let's see what we got. Let's give this a dry. And I'm going to turn this around so that I'm not putting my hand in that purple paint. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, I'm going to go over this with the second coat because I really want this to be nice and vibrant. And the second coat is going to do that. Yeah, this is going to be good. So yes, I love my new dentist, y'all. She's not cheap, but she's good. And she's the one that I had the implants put in last year. And I just went for a cleaning this time. And I've had this particular dentist, dental hygienist, clean my teeth twice. It's the best. I didn't know that you could have variations of how your teeth are cleaned. And this gal is just so thorough and, gentle, and tear your mouth up. I don't know. I don't have a good history with the dentist. I mean, the dentist that I had for many, many years, he was really good. And if I, he wanted to be a veterinarian. And anyway, he ended up being a dentist, and he was really good to me. But towards his latter years, his health was failing, and and then he retired. And then after he retired, the business was just not the same, and I just couldn't stay there. I was like, nope, not doing it. Just can't do it. All right, this is almost making me want, and I'm glad I did, because I found what's called a bioidentical dentist. Does, a lot of healthier ways, doesn't believe in root canals because they fail over time. And that's what's happening with, my shoulder. That's what's happening with this root canal that they said may have an infection in it is, one of the roots was left there and it's decaying, causing infection. But it doesn't hurt. That's the good news. It doesn't hurt. So I'm glad about that. All right, we're almost around a little over halfway now. Oh, I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out, y'all. So I work with two different kinds of stenciling. I work with Chocateur stencils that are more like silk screening. And then I work with the Stencil Smith, that's what this stencil is, and Essential Stencil. And they all have their strong points. Chocateur I like because you get a nice crisp silkscreen look without the, bridges. But Chocateur's doesn't have the scripture that I'm looking for in projects. And that's where the Stencil Smith and Essential Stencil come in. I love what the Stencil Smith and Essential Stencil, their material overall, and their fonts. I love their fonts. for both of those companies. So, you know, they all have, you know, it's like you want everybody to have everything, but it just doesn't work that way. And this one, I saw this on the Stencil Smith, and I was like, oh, that is it. I bet that will be pretty. So the other thing that I want to do is, this is on a 12 by 12 inch canvas panel. And another thing that I want to do, all right, I'm wondering, should I go over it? Oh, I feel like I should, y'all. I can't go backwards, so let's just do it. I'm going to give it a little bit more. I'm gonna give this a second coat, just because I can't go backwards once I move forward. So we're gonna just do this. And I think it's gonna pay dividends in the long run. I think we're going to get crisper, prettier colors this way. Oh, so what I want to do is, I have a round 12-inch board, and I want to... I think I want to do, if this turns out the way I hope that it does, I want to actually do this on a round, a 12-inch round, and see how that goes. And then possibly resin it, because I think that would be really, really pretty. Because, you know, anytime you resin something, it just brings everything out so much more. Just going and going and going. Boy, this is going to be a workout on this one for sure. This is a lot of stenciling area, y'all. Just keep going around the horn. And if you see anything that you think needs to be filled in, then fill it in and go over it. Now, when I go to clean this, I will use a Chalk Couture erase, what's it called? Oh, shoot. Eraser board. It's a I can't think of the name of it. I've only used a gazillion of them. It's like a magic eraser, but it's not a magic eraser. And it will clean this off of here pretty easily. I'll take it over to the sink. I'll think of the name of it here in a minute. All right, we're almost there, y'all. Oh. So why did I go with the cool white instead of the titanium white? All right, so your cool color, well, let's go with your warm colors first. This is new to me, okay? Remember, I did not grow up with a paintbrush in my hand like a lot of artists did. I am a learning artist. I'm learning, and everybody can learn. It's just a matter of practice and working with the materials that you have. And anyway, where was I going? Let me get this in here. You just keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and you will get better too. There's so many tools that we can work with. For those of us who say we can't draw, so many tools. There's a program called Rapid Resizer, and it will give you, like outlines that you can trace. Almost there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over this with some purples and blues and browns. We're almost done. I'm almost out of paint, y'all. It looks like I may have put just the right amount on here. And that's going to be brown, so I'm not really that worried about it. Okay, so this is what we have so far. All I've done is I have painted the background black. I have like a gesso. All right, we're going to put that over here. And now we're going to go in. Where's the brush I was using for the purple? Right here. So let's get our purple brush. We're going to dry this. And I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Let's see what we got here. That's kind of got a little bit dry. All right, so I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to start with the lighter colors, and then after the lighter colors, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add just a little bit of darkness to it. I don't want to get the star. I think I let my brush dry just a little bit too long. That's okay, because I can may have to come back with a, all right, let's see what I want to do here. So I'm going to go this one here. Don't want to go into the star. Now they've given some, the Stencil Smith has given some nice wide divisions. All right, so let me look at this and see what we're going to do here. We're going to go, this one's going to be pink. All right, then we're going to come down here. So let's get this one here. Kind of looking at a guide over here. All right, so this one I want pink. This one I want purple. And I think maybe what I ought to do, all right, let me, I'm gonna work with both of these. So let me get another brush, and I'm gonna kind of do the pink and the purple at the same time. Let me get this pink on here. Let's get some of this on here. And then I can just kind of go back and forth. All right, so this is going to be pink. Oh yeah, this is going to be pretty. And then I'm going to come back with like some darker purple and go over that. So then I'm going to come down here, and this one's going to be pink. Looks like there's fewer pink, so I can just go ahead and just kind of get that on there. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to give a little bit more in here. I want to make sure that I get the edges. I did a stained glass cross with this company, and one of the things I noticed was I didn't get quite to the edges after I had, all right, so there is that. And then we're going to come in here, and this one here. I didn't get all the way to the edges as well, and so the white on the edges from the background kind of stood out, and I don't want that. So I'm just making sure that I go all the way to the edge and get all of that white. Okay, there's that one. And then we're going to come up here. This is over Mary's head. It's kind of, I'm finding that it's probably easier to do the pink because I'm doing less of the pink than I am the purple. Same thing, I'm getting in all the way to the edge there. And then I'm going to come back. Wow, they did a good job making sure that, all right, and then we're going to come over here by the O and get this one. They did a good job giving you some nice big divisions. So that you don't run into the next color, okay? And then we're going to do, let's look at this up here. I think it's this one is next. And of course you can make these whatever color you want, but it's like, you know, whenever I do something the first time, sometimes, not all the time, but like if I'm not sure how I want to do something, I'll just use the same colors that someone else has used. And then I get comfortable with what the process is, and then I just go wherever I want. Okay, like this one, I don't know why this color is different. Let me get a little bit more on here and see if that changes this. Okay, and we're going to come over this one. Over this one again. And I may come back over this and make sure that it's wet when I get ready to blend some of the other colors in here. All right, so then I have that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got that. So now we're going to come in here with this purple, and I'm going to do all of the rest of this in purple, and then a lighter purple, and then I will come back over it with a darker purple. And I'm not too worried about the edges because I'm going to come back with the edges and kind of clean that up. And I'll probably come back with like maybe a white. All right, this is Joseph, so I don't want to do Joseph. This one here by his head is purple. This one. This is his head, by his head. And I'm just going to kind of tap that in there because I don't have a whole lot of room to swirl. Just kind of tap it in there and get in those nooks and crannies. All right, and then this one. And this is a really, really soft brush, y'all. Just trying to make it so that, okay, we've got that, and then we're going to come in here, and like I said, we're doing all of these light, and then some of them we're going to go over with a darker purple, and then others we're going to just leave this with the light purple. And then I'm probably going to come back and maybe do some areas where we have some white in the middle. We'll see. All right. Tell you what, I don't know what about this this purple paint that I couldn't get to cooperate, but it is giving me good coverage, so that's good. All right, here we go. Coming over here by Mary. And tap, 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 because I don't want to swirl into where Mary is. And then we'll come in here with some more purple. Remember that purple is the color for royalty, so we're putting purple right over baby Jesus. That makes sense, right? Whoops, which one was it? I think it's this one. I'll find out. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's this one. Come on. And just kind of load and offload. Tapping so that I stay inside the lines. Making sure that I get all the way to the edge where the white is, because if you don't, it will show up. I learned that the first time I did a stained glass. Now I got a Santa Claus like this too that I want to do. All right, here we go. I'm thinking I want to throw some gold on here too, y'all. I'm going to be throwing some gold in here somewhere, that's for sure. All right, let's do this one. Tap, 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 because I don't want to go into the star. I want the star to stay white. All right, that stays white, that stays white. This is going to be purple. Always, I'm starting with the lighter color, and then I will come back with the darker color. And this way I'll be able to use the same brush. If I start with the darker brush, the darker paint, then I won't be able to use the same brush. I'll need to either rinse it or use another brush. Tap, tap, tap. And even if you go over into the pink, it's not going to be that big of a deal because they both have red in them. All right, so let me look and see what I have. This is Mary. This is Joseph. Okay, I need to do this one here. Tap, tap, tap. And we're going to do this one here over by Joseph's head. Tap, tap, tap. And I think I may need to go in with a smaller brush over here. So let me get a smaller brush. I think this size here is going to be a good one. This one's going to be good. This is going to go right in here. See how that's going, fitting right in. So Essential Stencil has a variety of sizes of brushes. They have the bigger pack, and then they have the minis. Okay, this is good. Let's see if I missed anything. Looks like I got a spot here. And just making sure that I get it all the way to the edges. All right, let's see what I got. All right, so now what we're going to do, got like a little black spot there. I don't know what that is. We're going to take some darker purple. I'm not sure if this is going to be dark enough or not. It is darker, so that'll be good. All right, so let's shake this up. Make sure that I have this where I want it to be. And I may end up, you know what? I think I'm going to put this in the water. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over this. All right, I'm going to use two brushes. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get this darker purple. Let me get this out of the way. And, no, this is the darker. Wild grapes. Let's see here. Yeah, this looks darker. All right, so I'm going to take the brush that has the lighter on it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's good. Ooh, it's kind of gloppy. All right, get on out of there. It is. Did not need that. Pull that out of there. Stringing. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do a combination of things here. Okay. I want to get some darker edges, but I want to blend it. And in order to blend it, I have to have the paint wet. So I'm going to come in here along the sides. I want to leave the middle. I want to leave the middle. Whoops, I want to hold this way. I want to leave the middle. And this is going to make it so that I can actually kind of get some darker in there. And I may even come back with a little bit of white. Where's my white? Where's my white? Where's my white? Here's my white. We're going to come back, and I think I'm going to put a little bit, come on, put a little bit of white in the middle as a highlight. Let's see. And I'm going to offload this. I got to be careful because, all right, let's get the lighter in here. You're not going to be able to blend it if it's dry. So you're going to have to make sure that, okay, so it's got a little bit of light to it. All right, so now we're going to come in here. I need my darker color. And we're going to offload. That doesn't look as thick as the other one did. All right, and then we're going to come in here, and this one's going to be a little, going to kind of be dark. I want a darker purple. All right, hang on a minute, y'all, because I want this to be a little bit darker. Let's see if I can find something that's darker. This is eggplant. Let's see what this does. That's actually less dark. All right, hold on. What is this? That's brown. Huh. I'm not sure of that. think this is the darkest I have, y'all. Alright, I'm going to put that off to the side. And we are going to just kind of we want these to be darker in here. I was hoping it would be just a little bit darker, but that's what I have. And we're going to do this one here. I think I want to do some gold over this, y'all. I really think I want to do some gold. All right, let me get another small brush. Where are my brushes? Another small brush and come in here with this purple. And I think I want to come down here with some gold too. I think I want some gold in this, you know, kind of radiant light down on Jesus. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Come in here. These are all a little bit darker in here. Bringing it down. And I really think I want some like gold in. I want to mix some gold in here. All right, and then we're going to take, and we're going to do the edge of this in purple. The edge of this in purple. Just offloading so we don't have too much. And then I'm going to pick up the pink brush. Where's my pink brush? And where's my pink paint? Oh boy, that's wet. It needs to be shook. All the water came out of that one. There we go. All right, so we're going to come in here with the pink. Boy, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought, but I'm liking it. All right, so we're just going to kind of blend this. Come back with the purple brush. Kind of blend it in. So you kind of like doing each one of these little ones is, you know, blending like you would on anything else. All right, and then we're going to just kind of push this back a little bit. All right, so there we have that. All right, so now we're going to come over here, these top ones, and they're going to have just a faint bit of darkness kind of around the edges. Just kind of blending that in. I'm going to get a dry brush to blend it with. All right, and I'm going to come back in here in the middle. Whoops, wrong one. Oops, oops, oops. That's all right. It's just paint, right? It's just paint. So we're going to come in here with the lighter color in the middle, softening up those edges. Same thing in here in the middle, softening up the edges. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So each individual, now what we have is each individual one of these little squares. All right, let's see, we're going to do, ends up being an individual little, all right, I want the darker, so let's go in here with the darker. That one just doesn't, it's not as dark as I'd like for it to be. All right, so we're going to come in here and I think if I get some gold in here that's going to help. Gotta be careful not to get Joseph's head. I'm going to do all of these purples first and then I will come back. And I'll tell you what you want to do is you want this to, when you do your strokes on this, you want this to be the direction of the light is coming down. Try not to go, like don't go this way. You want to come down because this is the light that's on Jesus. And you want the strokes to be that way. I just wished I had an even darker. I guess if I do another coat, I'll be okay. And then I'm going to throw some streaks of gold in here after I get this all where I want it to be. So the direction that the light is going is the direction that you want to stroke your brush. And then I'm going to come over here and blend. And then I'm going to come over here and I want these edges to be dark. And then you're going to come in here and you're going to blend. And if you need the edges to be a little bit darker, then come back and add a little bit more in there. And then you want to keep your brush wet and your paint wet when you're blending, okay? All right, so that, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and I'm going to go with the lighter first. And kind of in the corner. See if I can get a little bit more contrast this way. There we go. And then I'm going to come back with the pink. Where's my pink? And I'm going to blend. And I need to get a little bit more on my brush. Just kind of blend that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my brush with the dark. Oops, I'm going to be careful not to get Joseph. And you're just going to kind of go back and forth, just like you would if you were doing a background. Okay, so there's that. All right, so now we need to do this section over here. I just wish I had a better dark purple. Let me go ahead and we're gonna just kind of fill this in. Get it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to come in here with the dark, and I'm going to just kind of go along those edges. And then I'm going to come back and blend. And then do the edges the way we want the edges, however we want them, to have some kind of highlights. I have no idea how this is going to look when I lift it up, but I hope it's going to be good, y'all, because I'm kind of excited. All right, so now I'm going to come in here with some of this dark, tap some of this off of here, kind of go along the edge, and take the pink and blend. Well, I don't want to lift it up because it's got a nice good seal on it. So, all right, then I'm going to come in here. Every little section is like its own little and then blend. And then blend. Okay? All right, let's do this one here. And I'll probably come back with a small brush and do, all right, so we're gonna come along the edge. Oh, I need the darker, hold on. And I'm just kind of playing with all three of these. Just blend in, blend in, blend in. Oops, I got the star. All right, and then I want to come up here a little bit. And we're going to get a little bit of this dark here. A little bit of this dark here. And then come back and blend. Come back and blend. And we're going with the dark one over here. And blending. Just kind of making it so that just the edges, oops. Okay, and then I'm going to go get this dark here and blend it. And I really think I want to come back with I'm going to come back in the middle with some highlights. And I also want to do some gold. All right, so I think that, all right, let me get this right in here, this edge here. And then blend. So I've got 3 different colors of brushes in my hands, y'all. The light purple, the dark purple, and the pink. Just making sure that I get all the way to the very, very edge. Whoops. Okay. All right, so now I need to come in here and we need to get some of this dark in here. Get kind of a second coat in here. A little smaller brush. I think I'm going to take this small brush and go over with the gold. I think that's what I want to do. And then blend. Okay, and I need to get a little bit of the darker over here. And some down here in the corner. And then blend. And blend. And blend. And blend. Okay. All right, looking good. You can come over here and blend and blend and blend and blend and blend. Okay, so we got all of that done. So now the only thing we have left to do is Joseph, his hand, his face, his beard, and his, I guess that's his hair. All right, so, all right, let me see where I'm going to do. Okay. So each little section is its own blending opportunity. And you just kind of, just like you would if you were doing a background. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I still want to come over this. I think I definitely want to come over this with some gold. All right, so now we're going to do the face. We'll do the faces. Let me do that first. Oh, this is like a little tiny piece of purple here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, looking good, looking good. All right, so now, let me put these off to the side here. And I'm going to go ahead, I want to get a small brush. This I used for white. And I'm going to use this, it's kind of like a flesh color. I'm going to call it a flesh color. And let's see what we got. Close enough. It's going to be as close as I'm going to get. So we're going to use this. Ooh, I don't know about that. It might be a base coat. It's kind of off looking. All right, let's see what this color, if I mix it with this, what are we going to get? That might be better. Let's see if we can get this off of here. Y'all remind me when I say I don't think this is going to take very long. Hey, Cindy, that I'm not a very good, I can get out of the house on time, but I can't seem to. All right, I'm going to take this. I don't like that color of the face. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to just kind of, ooh, I don't know about that. Well, that's not bad. And we're going to do this here. This is the Stencil Smith, Cindy, what I'm working with. Kind of is like, I feel like it should be a little bit darker. Let's see what we can get for a base color. Let's see if I can mix these two. That's better. And we're talking Middle East, right? We need it to be a little bit darker than pale white. All right, let's try this one. That's a little bit better. That's better. All right. Could be a little bit darker, a little bit more olive, but we're going to go with that. Okay, we're going to stick with that, y'all. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do, let's see, we got hands. The hands. The hands need to be in here and here. Okay. All right, so we got hands. Now, what is this one here? That looks like it is purple. So I'm going to do, where'd it go? This is kind of like the background of the purple. All right, now we're going to do the beard. The purple goes up here. This is going to come over here. And now we need to do the beard. So we need, this one looks like it's actually this size here. I think this size here. All right, so we're going to go in with the brown. Oops, y'all can't see my palette. I'm going to go in with the brown. Looks like it could be a little bit darker. I may add a little bit of black to this, y'all. Just a smidgen. Actually, I'm going to put some black right here, and then that way I can use as little as I want to. All right, so this is going to be just one dab of that. And we're going to just darken that. Ooh, I darkened it a whole bunch. Not quite as much as I wanted it to. I may have to. Ooh. All right, come on over here. Just a little bit darker. That's better. All right, we're going to give him some dark hair. All right, I need to offload this. Looks kind of gray. I think we'll be okay. All right, let's try that again. Just kind of moving it around. All right, let's go down here where it's dry. We're going to need more than one coat. And then we need her hair. This is her hair, Mary's hair. And then we'll do baby Jesus too. Oh, needed baby Jesus's face. All right, let's come in here. Do another coat maybe. It needs to dry. Okay. And this is supposed to be, oh, that's her hands, okay. I'm gonna get just a little tiny bit. I tell you what, these little tiny brushes come in handy, y'all. All right, so there is that. Now we're gonna do, all right, we're coming in and we're gonna do Mary in, that one's kind of stiff. I'm going to take that one out. All right, we're going to come in here and we're going to do Mary. Well, let's do Jesus's manger next. Okay, so we're going to come in here. I need to do his face too. And all of this is going to be brown, except for his face. Not quite as dark as I'd like for it to be. Oh, I need to do, oh, that's Joseph. Okay, so I need to do Joseph. That's going to be, he's going to be, what color is Joseph? He's going to be like a tan color. Okay, let's come in here a little bit more brown. His hair and his beard. Mary's hair. Okay. All right, let's dry this. Get baby Jesus's face. And I think this is kind of a, I need it more chocolatey brown. There we go. More like it's been in a barn, right? All right, I'm going to come back with the lighter stuff in the middle, and we're going to do just like we did before. And we're going to blend. Kind of blend this out. Let the sides, the edges stay dark. And, all right, let's see where this is. And then let some of the highlights come in the middle. All right, let's see what we got. I need to fill this in. Get some of this. I don't know why that brown is just really not sticking to it. All right, here we go. Okay, so now all we have left, need another brush. We're gonna actually use this brown. I'm not real thrilled with this brown, y'all, truth be told. And I want to use this color here for his, hold on, let me find something else, for his tunic. Let me see here, what color is this? Bittersweet chocolate. I need a different color. Maybe a golden color. Let's try this. I don't want yellow. That's golden straw. Let's try, all right, let's pull this gold up because I want to use some gold. How about this color here? Antique gold. Is that the color I want? That'll work. All right, let's do this. All right, we're going to do all of Joseph's. I may need to get another piece of cardboard because I'm running out of space. Don't need a whole lot. So we're going to get this color here. And we're going to use some of this brown. All right, let me move this off to the side before I stick my elbow in it. And I need, oh boy, I'm running out of brushes. All right, I guess I'm going to have to use this brush here, and I'll be good because this is all right, here we go, y'all. He's going to have like a gold tunic. This is good. And then we'll go around the edges with the brown. We're almost done. I got to remember I want to do gold. Don't let me forget that I want to do gold, y'all. All right, this was a good choice. Good choice. All right, and we'll come in here. Well, it's a good thing I'm home alone. They gives me something to do with y'all. Appreciate y'all hopping on and joining me, keeping me company while I play. Okay, I like that. That was a good choice. Good choice of colors. All right, so I'm going to let that dry, and while that is drying, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to take this brush, and we're going to do Mary in blue. And this is Bahama blue. Doesn't need much. We're going to go lighter on the inside, and then we're going to highlight on the edges. Ooh. Let's see what we got. It's a pretty color. Give it just a little bit of pop. Now, if you notice, I didn't offload as much, but what I did was I kind of offloaded in the center of Mary's, I guess it's a tunic. I don't know what it's called. I should know that. Or at least I should have looked it up if I didn't know it, right? All right, here we go. Oh, this is going to be cool, y'all. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. All right, let me do one more layer of this gold. Looks like it needs another layer. I almost want to resin this, y'all. Put some glass on it. Maybe do, I don't know. We'll see. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to go in with the brown. And we're going to hit just a few highlights up at the top. And I'm going to come back with my brush and blend. Didn't do a very good job blending though. There we go. And then we're going to come down here. I think I want a bigger brush for this. Let's go with this one. Running out of brushes. Running out of brushes. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's see if we can make this a little bit softer down here. Yeah, that looks better. That softer brush made a difference. All right, let me get another little bit of brown here and just kind of go up in here where it's a little bit softer. Using that small brush made it just look like streaks, so that's why I'm going back over this. All right, this is the gold, and so we're going to come back up in here. And then come back with the brown. Doesn't look quite so stark. There we go. That looks better. All right, now we're going to come around And I don't think she needs any more blues, but I'm going to take, do I want to do some metallic? Do I want to do some metallic, y'all? I probably do. I'm thinking I want to do some metallic. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, I like that. I think I like that. All right, so let's come in here. Oh, no. Not. Ouch. Let's see if that's better. Not quite. It's not stirred up enough. Let's see what we got going on in here. Ouch. It's twice I hit that. All right, let's try this and see. See what we get. All right, let's try this. There we go. Now, what I probably should do, but it's too late now. All right, we're going to take, and we're going to just kind of, actually, I really like, I might just go over her whole dress. And I may come back. Oh, I like this. I like this metallic. Okay. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I don't know if this is going to be dark. No, this is the one I need. Let's see here. This is a little bit darker, so let's take some of this and put it up at the top. Ooh. And I'm going to need, I'll be cleaning lots of brushes tonight, that's for sure. All right, let me see. Let's dry this. Well, I don't want to dry it because I need to blend it. Forget that. Forget I said that. All right, here we go. Which color is it? Here we go. All right, we're going to do some down here in the bottom. I need to fix that. There we go. And we're getting a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And we're going to blend it in. Okay, y'all. I feel like I need to do something over here with this. Not quite so dirty looking, but it probably was pretty dirty. Okay. Whew. Okay, so now I want to take, right or wrong, I'm gonna try it. I want to throw some gold in here on these highlights. So let me come in here. We'll get this brush here. And we're going to oh my gosh, that is going to be pretty. Yep. All right, and we are going to do some streaks of gold. Let's see if we can see this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. then we're going to put some gold on Jesus. A little bit more gold. Oh yeah. Definitely needed the gold. And we're going to make the light go out. Wow. Yep, it needed the gold, y'all. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, a little bit more. Oh. I just want it in streaks. I don't want to do the whole thing in gold because we want the light to look like it's shining down and up. All right, that is awesome. Okay, let me see what I need to do. Do I need to do, maybe I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a little bit more gold, and I'm going to do some on Mary and a little bit on Joseph, just to give it some pop. Okay. There we go. Right, just a tiny bit more. And then we're going to lift it up and see what we got, y'all. All right, let me look at it. And a little bit more gold up here. And I think that's going to do it. All right, let's see what we got. All right, here comes the moment of truth. Are y'all ready? All right, do I have everything? I think I have everything. I got a ton of brushes to clean. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, you know what? I think I need a little bit of gold. Is this the gold? Yeah. Whoops, which one is the gold? That's the gold. I need to put some gold on the white. Star. I got a little bit of white that needs to be filled in. Let me get another small brush. And where's my white? I need to go in here and fix this. Okay, let's dry it. Put a little bit more white on over that pink that I got in the wrong spot. Okay, that's better. And then we're going to dry it and we'll put a little bit of gold over it. where's my gold brush? Right here. We're going to do a little bit of gold over it. And, wow. Okay. I think we're good, y'all. Move it in here. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, here we go. Here we go, here we go. I'm turning around so y'all can see it. Look at all this. Boy, I got 1, let's see, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. All right, here we go. You ready? Are y'all ready? Here we go. Here we go, here we go. I think. If I can get my finger, there we go. All right, here it comes. It's stuck. It's definitely stuck on there. All right, let me lift this up carefully so I don't ruin my stencil. Oh my word. Y'all, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Wow. And I don't know if you can see. Can you see the gold metallic in it? Oh my goodness. Is that not beautiful? I am loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay. This is the Stencil Smith. Use my code, 3 words, nothing is wasted, no spaces, and you get 15% off. Y'all, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Okay, for those of you who hung in there with me, thank you. For those of you who are just hopping on, if you'll go back and watch the replay, and let me know what you think. All right, I love you. Jesus loves you more. Wow, I love how this turned out. This is absolutely stunning. All right, the Stencil Smith. I'll put a link up at the top of the page, and be sure and use my code, Nothing is Wasted. It's an affiliate link, but you'll get 15% off. Y'all have a great night, and let's see, today's Thursday. I should be able to come on tomorrow. All right, so I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Bye.